Motorist commuters groan as petrol sells for 720 naira per litre in Abuja. Army arrests 3 kidnappers, rescue 2 female victims in Taraba. Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission threatens sanctions against discos over low power supply. And on a foreign scene, 8 missing after a boat sinks in Myanmar commercial hub. Hello, welcome to News Updates on Trust TV. I am Lilian Ogazi. And now to the news. The Federal Capital Territory and some states of the Federation are again experiencing fuel scarcity. This has resulted in long queues at filling stations within the metropolis, with motorists buying PMS above the official price. Chamunda Beng reports.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory continue to groan as another round of fuel scarcity resurfaced. The situation, which began on Friday, has also affected some states within the North Central. The incessant scarcity of PMS and the price hike that comes with it has taken a toll on the purchasing power of the average Nigerian. Several independent fueling stations across the city have been forced to close their gates, resulting in an immediate hike in the cost of fuel, as some stations now sell petrol as high as 720 naira per litre, as against the original 617 naira per litre.
And this fuel scarcity of the thing has really affected me, because at the time I left my house to work, the hours I've spent here, so those hours would have fetched me good money, but here I'm sleeping. I've even slept and woke up.
In fact, it has been terrible. I've been here since morning. I'm supposed to be in the office now. I've been here since 10 o'clock. I can check the time now. This is like almost 3 o'clock. So it's not really nice at all. And to worsen it all, it's just one fuel pump that is selling in the filling station now.
Coming from Katampe down to this Otako, from inside to Junction, even Okada would like to collect 400 naira, 300 per this thing, machine. Then getting to Junction, you enter 500 to here. Through and flow, you spend like 2,000 in a day.
Even when I'm working, I'm coming from a very long distance. We have to trek some miles to cover up with, you understand, to cover just the money, you understand. So it's been a bad stuff for us.
National Deputy President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Zarma Mustafa, says the scarcity is as a result of disruptions in the supply chain.
There are some logistical and distribution hitches that brought about some drop in the arrival of petroleum product from the coastal depot to Abuja and other parts of the country. But with this development, I like to assure our citizens that this is just a temporary thing. Well, you know, our Nigerian roads today during rainy season is a hell. The roads are mostly bad, and it really hinders on efficiency in terms of deliverance of the product. Sometimes it takes a truck to 10 days to 15 days to come. While in dry season, a truck can load within 3 days and deliver to any part of the country.
Nigerians are calling on the relevant authorities to address the regular scarcity of premium motor spirits and to put an end to the multiplier effects, such as high cost of transportation, food items, amongst others. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Another House of Representatives has asked the federal government to suspend the Samoa Agreement amid controversy over alleged LGBT provisions. The decision follows the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by the Minority Whip Sani Madaki and 87 other lawmakers. The report.
The Daily Trust newspaper, one of the publications from the stables of Media Trust Group, has been in the eye of the storm over a publication which kick-started the Samoa deal controversy. The report, which had revealed that Nigeria may be compelled into recognizing and supporting LGBT agitations, received widespread condemnation and rejection from the generality of Nigerians. While the federal government had made several efforts to provide clarifications, including threatening legal actions against the Daily Trust, lawmakers in the Green Chamber at the resumption of plenary on Tuesday have insisted on the suspension of the agreement. During the motion's presentation, the Minority Whip Sani Madaki argued that the agreement violates the nation's laws regarding LGBTQ and same-sex relationships.
Further worried that the signing of such an agreement with the aforementioned clauses, if true, violate our sovereignty and is a clear contravention of Section 12(1) of 99 Constitution as amended.
Other lawmakers who supported the motion urged the House to reject the Samoa Agreement in its entirety and called for the suspension of the implementation of the agreement signed by the federal government on June 28th.
The first amendment, Mr. Speaker, is the need for Nigerian government to unsign and withdraw from the unpopular Samoa Agreement, and the need for the government to refrain from engaging in any such treaties that contravene the people's culture, religion, and unethical morals.
Where the federal government is going into an agreement, by the provisions of Section 12 of the Constitution, the Parliament ought to be carried along. And if the Parliament had been carried along, these arguments, even from our people that we speak for, would not have been there, because Nigerians would have been better informed.
The Samoa Agreement serves as a vital legal framework for cooperation between the OACPs and the European Union, with the aim of promoting sustainable development, fighting climate change and its effects, generating investment opportunities, and fostering increased collaboration among OACP's member states at the international stage.
The Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities, NASU, have held a protest at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, over their 4-month withheld salaries. Members of the union in their numbers marched around the campus. The report.
These are members of the Senior Staff Association of Universities and Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities protesting the non-payment of their 4 months withheld salaries. The protesters, frustration written on their faces, chanted solidarity songs with placards displaying their demands for justice. Shaibu Muhammad, the chairman of the Sassanu Ahmadu Bello University chapter, addressed the gathering. His voice echoed through the campus as he decried the federal government's action.
The payment of 4 months' salaries to our colleagues in university and then leaving the non-teaching staff out is a segregation. Yes. It is in style showing that we, the non-teaching staff, we are not relevant to the system. As we have always reiterated, the non-teaching staff are the most important segment of the university system because we feature in all units of the university. Our services are more essential than any other service in the university. Yes. Therefore, for the federal government to pay our colleagues their own 4 months and then leave us out is an injustice. Yes.
The unions announced plans for a mega rally in Abuja on the 18th. And warned that if their demands are not met by then, they will escalate their protest into a full-scale strike.
That if at the end of the grand protest on 18th next week, we are forced to go on an indefinite strike, we'll want you all to come out and participate in the strike. Yes. Remember, I have said it. Nobody is going to fight our war for us, but we'll fight it ourselves. Yes. We are going to fight it to get victory. Yes. Again, inshallah, victory shall be ours. Yes. Apart from the 4 months, we have salaries, we have other demands also.
It seems that the government seems to forget that when we negotiated and had an understanding, we signed a memorandum of understanding that says nobody will be victimized. So part of the victimization that we are seeing today is the withheld 4 months salary. We are not beggars in the system. For God's sake, we have cried aloud, we have made several appeals. We try to see that we use diplomacy in resolving this issue, but we do not know who our enemies are.
The National Association of Nigerian Students, NAMS, also affirmed their solidarity with SANU and NASU.
We are going to solidly stand and call over the 50 million Nigerian students we have on the street of Abuja to shut down virtually all organizations. As far as this strike is not going to be addressed properly, as far as the interests of SANU and NASU members are not going to be addressed, we are not going to take it lightly with any government official. So this is our resolution and this is our stand. We are here in Ahmadu Bello University Zaria today to stand firmly with the members. They are our parents, and we want them to also be able to pay their house rents. We want them to be able to pay the school fees of their children. We want them to be able to put this 3 square meal on their tables. So
the potential strike threatens to disrupt academic activities, leaving students in a state of uncertainty and anxiety. From Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, Bello Musa reporting for Trust TV News.
Troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army and Sector 3 Operation Wellstroke in Taraba State have arrested 3 suspected kidnappers and rescued 2 female victims. The Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Oni Olobodunde, said the Army, in collaboration with other security agencies, raided suspected kidnappers' hideouts at Adamu Katibu Mountain in Lao local government area of the state on Monday. The arrested kidnappers, according to Olobodunde, were said to be members of a notorious gang operating in the area. The suspects arrested are 20-year-old Harun Abuba, Hassan Kakale, and Husseini Kakale. The rescued victims, according to Lieutenant Oni, are Hawa'u Alajumaru and Asma'u Alajumaru, who were abducted on July 7, 2024. The rescued victims were taken to the headquarters 6th Brigade in Jalingo for psychological and medical support and thereafter handed over to their families. The Plateau State Police Command says it has recovered 3 million naira from 3 suspected kidnappers arrested in the states. The Commissioner of Police, Olugbenga Emmanuel Adesina, disclosed this on Monday while parading the suspects at the command headquarters. Adesina stated that the culprits were arrested between Kuka Village and Shendam local government area and Sarkin Kudu Village in Taraba State. Ado Musa completes the report.
The arrested kidnappers are among the over 100 criminals paraded by the command on Monday. According to the State Police Commissioner, the command has recently been battling numerous criminal elements who are bent of causing havoc to law-abiding citizens in the state, adding that the command has employed every lawful means to tackle the menace.
We are proactive with other security agencies. The whole command was overwhelmed with security presence, raiding of their hideouts and black spots. And based on the information given to the command by good people of the state, yesterday alone, a total number of 118 suspects were apprehended. And this paid off because from that yesterday to today, the command did not allow them to operate anywhere. And that is
one of the arrested kidnapped suspects, who was paraded by the command, Abdullahi Adamu, confessed to the crime. 3 of us kidnapped the victim. We were paid 9 million naira, which we shared 3 million naira each. 2 of us were arrested while the other one is still at large. I have not been involved in kidnapping for long. It is the devil's work. The leader of the group has fled. The police commissioner further called residents of the state to alert the police of any suspicious movement around their neighbors to enable the police tackle security challenges in the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has threatened the sanctions against electricity distribution companies or DISCOs if they fail to take up at least 95% of the total monthly energy allocated for distribution. In the Commission's order on performance monitoring framework for all the DISCOs, the market operator rolled out tough sanctions against utility firms that commit infractions capable of inflicting pain on electricity consumers. Among other things, NERC said it would reduce 5% of the administrative and operational expenditure of any disco that failed to take at least 95% of the total energy allocated to it for distribution monthly. The order stipulated that failure to take up to 95% of available nominations in any month will attract an issuance of rectification directives such as downward adjustment of discos, guaranteed admin OPEX by 5% for the next quarter. The NERC said discos would now be assessed on 7 key performance indicators, namely energy takeoff relative to partial contracted capacity, revenue recovery rate, and compliance with reporting of a uniform system of account. Others are compliance with API feeder, steaming, compliance with the order on capping and estimated bills, compliance with the implementation of forum decisions, and compliance with service standard for the resolution of complaints received through the NERC contact center and the NERC headquarters. This is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Coming up, federal government to distribute 60 trucks of fertilizers to governors and senators to tackle food crisis. More news when we return this day. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is news update coming to you from Trust TV. Let's take a look at our headline stories again. Motorist commuters groan as petrol sells for 720 naira per litre in Abuja. Army arrests 3 kidnappers, rescue 2 female victims in Taraba. Now moving on, at the resumption of plenary on Tuesday, the Senate engaged in a prolonged conversation lamenting the attendant effect of food crisis currently being experienced by their constituents. It was during this debate that it was revealed that the federal government has begun distributing 60 trucks of fertilizers to state governors, 2 trucks to each senators, and 1 truck to House of Representative members for distribution to their constituents. Trust TV's Senate correspondent Tagi Ibrahim brings us details from Tuesday's plenary.
The debate started when a motion on the urgent need to address food insecurity and market exploitation of consumables in Nigeria was moved by Senator Karimi Steve Kogi West on the hunger that Nigerians continue to bear due to the exorbitant cost of food commodities occasioned by skyrocketing food inflation in Nigeria. Senator Karimi also revealed how the activities of unscrupulous food merchants further worsened the food crisis.
Concerned that the greater percentage of the increase in price of food items and consumables in the country is not only due to these factors, but to the sales of merchant traders and retailers to make supernormal profit, while they excuse the hike in prices on these factors, that is depreciation of naira, increase in prices of petroleum products, and insecurity in farming regions, thereby heaping the blame on the federal government.
Other contributors called for urgent measures to ease the hardship on their constituents.
As it is now, a bag of rice is selling at about 100,000. A bag of maize, the same thing. Even prices of tomatoes, onions, and other basic food is high. Distinguished colleagues, as representatives of the people, we need to do something.
The executive arm of government is saying, is considering reducing or removing taxes on imported foodstuff. Mr. President, here's the catch. This Senate must engage the executive immediately. What are the issues? Which taxes are they talking about? We have really little or nothing in our food reserve across the country. And nobody should come and tell us they will distribute foodstuff from our silos. The silos are empty.
Nigerians cannot suffer from hunger while the government has the capacity to ameliorate the situation. By removing import duties on all the food items, it's a way to flood the market and flood the country with food, with cheap and affordable food.
Meanwhile, the plenary went into another round of arguments when Senator Adamu Alero of Kebbi Central called for the intervention of the Senate President regarding the distribution of 2 trucks of fertilizers allocated to them by the federal government for this year's planting season.
What is happening is that only governors are given the fertilizer. Senators are yet to get a single bag of fertilizer. And there is need.
It is going to the
Mr.
governor.
President, there is need for you to intervene, to call the Minister of Agriculture and tell him to immediately authorize the distribution of fertilizer to all the senatorial districts. This is the season we need the fertilizer. If it doesn't come now, it's as good as not having it at all.
The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, called the attention of the Chairman, Committee on Agriculture, to provide clarification.
We had hitches from the NSA's office. They stopped every truck of fertilizer from moving out because of the security implication. They had to certify clear before they will allow the trucks to move out. So, sir, I want us to exercise patience. By weekend, I'm sure everybody or most people will have received their supplies. Please.
You know, they like me, quoting me. They will say Akpabio again. This is from the Senate Committee Chairman on Agriculture. Not from Senator Akpabio. That irrespective of political party, each state governor is going to get at least 60 trucks immediately. And the reason why they are giving to senators 2 trucks is because some of the state governors and House of Rep members, 1 truck for your constituents, is because some of the state governors are not in the same party with you. So they may get and they may not really look at your constituents.
Upon conclusion of the debate, the Senate consolidated all the prayers from Senator Karimi's motion and appealed to the government to, as a matter of urgency, ease the plight of Nigerians. From the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now over to the foreign scene. 8 people were missing after a boat sunk on a river in Myanmar's commercial hub, Yangon, the local fire department said on Wednesday. The boat sank after an accident at around 8:10 a.m. local time in the Yangon River, it said on its Facebook page. It did not give details on what had occurred or whether any other vessels were involved. Local media reported that the boat had collided with another vessel. 9 of 17 people on board had been rescued, and search and rescue operations were underway for the remaining 8 people, the fire department said. Boat accidents are common in Myanmar, a poor country with rudimental transport and weakly enforced safety regulations. Vessels ferrying people along the coastline and river are often dangerously overcrowded, and accidents can have staggering death tolls. And in sports, Rangers International FC of Enugu has received their prize money of 150 million naira for emerging champions of the 2023-2024 NPFL season. Head of Media Publicity Andrew Ekejuba, who broke the Cherry News in Lagos, revealed that the winners of the 2024 President Federation Cup for Men, El Kanemi Warriors FC, also received their prize money of 50 million naira, while the runners-up Abia Warriors FC got 20 million naira. It further stated that in the women's category, the PFC's winners, Rivers Angel, for receiving 25 million, while runners-up Nigeria Rattles of Abuja got the sum of 10 million prize money. The prize money of 1 million was given to each of the awardees in the men and women's categories, which include highest goal scorer, most valuable player, and best goalkeeper, respectively. The Ministry of Sport has confirmed that 87 athletes will represent Team Nigeria in 12 sports at the upcoming 2024 Paralympics. The statements from the ministry confirmed the breakdown of the athletes to include 35 athletes in athletics, 18 for women's football, 12 for women's basketball, 6 for wrestling, and 4 for table tennis. Others are boxing, 3 athletes, canoeing, 2 athletes, weightlifting, 2 athletes, aquatic, 2 athletes, and cycling, one athlete. Additionally, Nigeria will participate in 4 sports in the Paralympic Games. The country has a strong history of success at the Paralympic Games, having won 40 gold, 19 silver, and 21 bronze medals, totaling 80 medals to date. With that, we've come to the end of News Update here on Trust TV. Do also follow us across all our social media platforms for more news programs and documentaries. Thanks for watching. I am Vivian Ogazi.